Hey, what's up? Peace and greetings to the East. Smash Leo. I apologize for coming on late. The reason that I came on late is because I attend different rallies, particularly with the Republican Party. So I apologize for coming on late. But let me get into what I want to get into. Sorry, I will get into it right now. Okay. So the study topic is this: to enter the apprentice degree. Reason I'm talking about the enter the apprentice degree is because they're real Masons who watch this channel, for lack of a better term, and they're into their studies. So let me get into that. On this episode, we'll deal with the enter the apprentice degree, as I've stated. Particularly, we'll talk about the northeast corner, symbolism or symbology. As I've said last time, Freemasonry is so deep, so spiritual, so beautiful. With the northeast corner, that's what I'm going to talk about. The northeast corner, the cornerstone, in the first degree ritual, as far as like the ritual, as I've just stated. Let me get into that. Okay. If you've received your Enter the Apprentice degree, in terms of the ritual, there's a part in your ritual where you get placed in the northeast corner of the lodge, the northeast corner of the lodge. And you're told that this represents that you are the cornerstone of King Solomon's temple. Think about that. You're told that you're placed in the northeast corner of the lodge. And again, the lodge is symbolic of King Solomon's temple in biblical mythology. King Solomon's temple in biblical mythology represents the human body as well as the universe as a whole. You're told that you were placed there because the cornerstone of ancient temples were laid in the northeast corner. So therefore, you are laid in the northeast corner to signify that you are the cornerstone of King Solomon's temple, right? In my jurisdiction in particular, before you get placed in the northeast corner of the lodge or in the northeast corner of the temple, so to speak, you hear Isaiah chapter 28, verses 16 to 17 of the Holy Bible. And this doesn't mean that Freemasonry is Christian. I have to mention that because Freemasonry is not Christian. Freemasonry is universal, but the Holy Bible is a symbol of Masonry. And it's a very important symbol. So, chapter 28 of Isaiah verses 16 to 17. I'll read it really quickly. Just to remind you, I don't know what your jurisdiction uses, but my jurisdiction uses this. Isaiah chapter 28, verses 16 to 17 says, Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, Behold, I lay in Zion for a foundation stone, a tried stone, a precious cornerstone, a sure foundation. He that believeth shall not make haste. Judgment also will I lay to the line, and righteousness to the plummet, and the hail shall sweep away the refuge of lies, and the waters shall overflow the hiding place. So we could, we could get into that. That's well. Let me tell you this. Like when you hear that particular passage of the Bible, thus says the Lord God, behold, I lay in Zion. Look, look up what the word Zion or the name Zion means. Look that up. Uh, what else is important there? Yeah, that's pretty much significant. Look up what Zion means. And also in your Masonic study, look up what being the cornerstone of the temple of King Solomon means. When you progress through Masonry, ritualistically, you'll see that the cornerstone symbology is very significant in a number of ways, in many ways. I'll tell you how in the near future, but for now, when you're placed in the northeast corner of the temple of the lodge, you're placed in the northeast corner. Let me say this first before I get deep into it, and I'll get more deeply into it, but to begin with, in the ritual, you're told that basically, like, this is customary. This is what has been done since ancient times and stuff like that. So you have to ask yourself, why was the cornerstone of a temple laid in its northeast corner in ancient times? I'll tell you, it's very simple. In masonry, we have the seven liberal arts. One of the seven liberal arts are astronomy or astrology. Like astronomy is more scientific, astrology is more ancient. So the point is study astrology and study astronomy. Now, the Northeast is significant to astrology as well as astronomy because that's where the sun rises on the day of the summer solstice. The summer solstice is the first day of summer, which is June 21st. It's the longest day of the year. It's the day in which light dominates over darkness to the fullest level. June 21st is the first day of the summer. The sun rises in its furthest northeast of the equator, which is to say that the sun rises in the northeast corner of the lodge. If you're a Mason and you really study in Masonry, you'll understand that the Masonic Lodge or the Masonic Temple symbolizes the world, the universe, macrocosmically. Microcosmically, it symbolizes you, but macrocosmically, in terms of the world. The sun rises in the furthest northeast on June 21st. It's the first day of summer. At the same time, you have to understand that when you are initiated into Freemasonry, when you when you're initiated into Freemasonry, you already know that you're blindfolded and you walk around the lodge. You square the lodge. And when you square the lodge or circumambulate it, really what you're circumambulating is the altar of the lodge, which is in the center of the lodge. You circumambulate or walk around the lodge from the west to the east in a clockwise motion. Clockwise. You follow the path of the sun. What Freemasonry is teaching you is that you are the light of the world. Basically, when you're imitating the sun, it's to tell you that remember, when you come into Freemasonry, what are you coming into this craft for? To find light, right? Not literal light, spiritual light, enlightenment. So therefore, you imitate the path of the sun. You travel around the lodge clockwise from the west to the east. You imitate the sun. The sun rises in the east, reaches this meridian in the south, and sets in the west. Never to be seen in the north. So you're imitating the sun, which is the source of light and life. That's what it's about. So Freemasonry is teaching you that even though you're blindfolded, as you do this, and I'm speaking to the entered apprentices, like certain entered apprentices that send me messages and say like, yeah, I'm studying Masonry, I'm coming into it to really learn. But I'm not learning nothing sitting in the lodge. Like, not saying that they could attend meetings in their particular jurisdictions, but they're not really, people are not taking the time to teach them. So basically, you're imitating the sun. That's what you're doing. Now, when you're blindfolded and walking around the lodge, imitating the path of the sun, that's meant to teach you indirectly that the light that you are searching for is you, because you're imitating the sun, which is the source of light and life. You are the light that you are seeking. You are the light. If you want to get deep, more deeply into it, the light is God. People will tell you, oh, it's divine truth and use flowery words. The light that you're looking for is God. When you come into Masonry, this is why we tell you in Freemasonry, do you believe in God? Not the God of the Bible or the God of the Quran or the God of any particular religion. God. What speaks to your soul? Do you believe in God? Do you believe there's a universal architect? Yes, you do. If you came into Freemasonry legitimately, you believe that there's some higher power, so to speak. I'm sure you do. If you came into Freemasonry for the right reasons, you believe that there's a universal architect. Had me laughing like a few weeks ago. One of my biological brothers, who's not a Mason, said the ultimate architect. It was funny to me, but it's saying the same thing. God, a creator, not necessarily some type of overlord that is like a personal God or something like that. If that's how you think about it, you're not gonna have faith in that because that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to believe in what some people would call a mystery God. That would not make sense. It would not make sense because you have kids starving all over the world. You have not just kids starving, you have bad stuff that happens to humans. Really very bad things. So that would make you not believe in a God. To be honest, you would not believe in a God if you pay attention to like just the bad things that happen in the world. Masonry doesn't t- tell you nothing like that at all. To come into Masonry, you have to acknowledge a universal architect, a creative power, a creative force. You have to. Otherwise, there's no purpose for you to be a Mason. None. None. But it doesn't mean you have to believe in the God of the Bible or the God of the Quran or nothing like that. What's required is you acknowledge that there is a creative force, a creative power, and there is. Otherwise, how do you exist? Think about that. So, anyway, when you perform circumambulation in the lodge during your initiation in the first degree, and I don't want to go beyond that, I just want to talk about the first degree to begin with. You imitate the sun, you're imitating the path of the sun, but you're blindfolded. What Masonry is trying to teach you is that the light that you're looking for is you. It doesn't mean that the sun is God in the literal sense, like, oh, yeah, the sun is God, or he's imitating the sun, so the sun is God. No, the sun is a symbol of God. It's been like that since ancient times, since ancient Egyptian times, with the sun god Ra. So the point is, Masonry is telling you that the light that you're seeking, my brother, is you or sister, because there are women who are Masons too, whether you want to believe that or not. There are. You're imitating the path of the sun to teach you that the light that you seek is you, yourself. It's you. So, getting back to the cornerstone aspect in the first degree, when it comes to solar phenomena, when the sun rises its furthest northeast, that's the day of the summer solstice. The first day of the summer is when light dominates over darkness in any year. The sun rises its furthest northeast of the equator. So when the first degree of masonry, as far as the ritual is what I'm talking about. When you're placed in the northeast corner, it's to tell you that light dominates the darkness and in the spiritual sense because you represent the sun. So you're placed in the northeast corner of the temple or the northeast corner of the lodge as the cornerstone of King Solomon's temple. And with the verse that or the verses that I recited to you from the Bible, from Isaiah, it tells you that the cornerstone of the temple will be laid, when you study the Bible, biblical symbolism, later you'll understand that the cornerstone of King Solomon's temple is Jesus Christ. And that's not to say Jesus Christ in a literal sense. Jesus Christ is a character. A character. Trust me, I've had this debate with fake Masons plenty of times where they'll be like, oh yeah, Masonry teaches Christianity. No, it doesn't at all. The Bible is a symbol of Freemasonry. Masonry is not Christian. It's not Muslim. It's not Jewish. It's universal, but it's syncretic. Look that word up if you can. Syncretic. Masonry is syncretic. That means that it sees a union between all spiritual paths, all religious paths. Masonry is not Christian. It's not Jewish, Muslim, none of that. It's its own thing. However, it uses the Bible as one of its main symbols. Very simple. So when you study the New Testament of the Bible, particularly, you'll see that Jesus Christ, the character, Jesus is a character, not a not a real person. If you believe that, don't get into Masonry. Go to the church. Go to the church. The character Jesus Christ in the Bible, he's born of a virgin. That should tell you everything you need to know if you really understand symbolism. Do you think a woman could get pregnant immaculately in the literal sense? Of course not. That doesn't make sense. It's stupid. It's dumb to even believe that a woman could get pregnant out of the blue without, without receiving the sperm of a man. That's stupid to even believe that. It's symbolic. And the Bible itself, if you really study it, will tell you that. In the New Testament, it'll tell you that. It'll tell you in the letters of Paul that Jesus is the Son of God by the Spirit, but the son of Joseph by the flesh. That's all there. All you have to do is read it. The Bible is dope, but it's spiritual is the point. It's not meant for you to take it literally. So in the New Testament, it also tells you that Jesus Christ is the cornerstone of the temple of God. So this is the reason I'm mentioning this to you. When the first degree of Masonry, in terms of the ritual, when it tells you that you are the cornerstone of King Solomon's temple, because you're laid in the northeast corner of the temple in the first degree. When the first degree ritual, initiation ritual tells you that, it's to tell you that you're identical with Jesus Christ. And if you study the Bible, Jesus Christ is said to be one with God, the Son of God. We can get more deep into this, and we will, trust me, in the future. Point is that Masonry is telling you from the beginning that you and Jesus are identical. You are God. God is your true and essential nature. Very simple. And when you progress through the 3 degrees, in the 3rd degree ritual, it illustrates it much more clearly than the first 2 degrees do in terms of the ritual. I'm not talking about the curricular studies and stuff like that. I'm just talking about the ritual. It's beautiful. Think about it. Think about it. So, as you progress in your Masonic studies, being a Mason, a lot of this stuff is not for the profane to grasp or understand. It's not really for them, but it's for you if you are a Mason. It's not for the profane. So, right, you can speak to them about it if you want, if they're receptive to it, but it's not for them. It's for you. If you are truly a Mason and you've come into the craft for the purpose of spiritual enlightenment, you will understand it. Be patient, learn, study. It's going to take you some years, generally speaking. It'll take you a few years. Think, think all the way through in your Masonic study. Think all the way through. Even when you hear the term Mason, when we say that, okay, you're a Mason. I'm a Mason. What do you think that means? To be a builder. Don't fall for the watered down explanation. I'm just building character and we're making good men better. That's all watered down nonsense. That's Freemasonry is so much deeper than that. To be a builder, even when you study the Bible, when you see in the lodge, you see the Bible as one of the three great lights of the lodge. The Bible, particularly, not because we're Christian. That Masonry is not Christianity at all. There's a reason why the Bible is one of the three great lights. It has nothing to do with that we're Christian or anything like that. But the Bible is a great light. It's a book of mythology, of allegory, great spiritual lessons. It's there for a reason. Trust me. It's there for a reason. So if you study it as you should, you will learn very deep lessons. Very deep lessons. Because even within the Bible itself, you'll learn that, oh, Freemasonry, as far as like Masonic symbology, is used in the Bible. If you study the New Testament, the character Jesus Christ is described as being a wise master builder. The character St. Paul is described as being a wise master builder. The character Jesus tells you in the Bible, he says, destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it back up. What is that telling you? The character Jesus is a Mason, symbolically speaking. The Bible calls his father a carpenter in the English translation, but if you study the language of the New Testament, which is Greek, it'll tell you that Jesus' father in the Bible, Joseph, is a tekton, which is to say a builder. It's not a carpenter. That's not what that word tekton means. It means a builder, not a carpenter. That's just how it's translated. But it really doesn't matter. The point is that you see the symbolism of building all throughout the Bible. All throughout the Bible. All throughout the Bible. And the character Jesus, who corresponds to Hiram Abiff in our mythology, It's all the same. All the same. And it even gets deeper than that if you study the most ancient religions. One of the most ancient religions is the religion of Egypt. And if you study that religion, you'll see that, oh, what was the main myth of that religion? The myth of the god Osiris, Asar. There was a conspiracy to assassinate him, plotted by his brother, the god Set. Osiris was murdered as a result of that plot. When he was murdered, there was a search made for his body to find him. His wife, the goddess Isis, became a widow, and she found his body in the myth. She found his body and then immaculately conceived the god Horus, who henceforth became the son of the widow's son. Because his mother was a widow, she conceived him through an immaculate conception. And when he was born, this is a myth. It's not literal. It's that these myths represent you on a spiritual path. You as being the initiate. You're searching for something. You're searching for God. And when you find it, you understand that you are God. You and God are the same. You're one. Anyway, with the ancient Egyptian legend or myth, the god Horus, the widow's son, he avenges the death of his father, Osiris. He becomes the savior of Egypt. He's the widow's son. Later on, centuries later, the Christian religion is created. And then you have Jesus Christ, born through an immaculate conception, resurrected from the dead. You as a Mason, if you have gone through the at least the ritual of being raised in the third degree, then you should understand. If you went through your ritual and you don't understand that, like, okay, why was I raised from the level to the square to a vertical? You're just dumb. That's the best way I could tell you that. And this is why I said it's you cannot go through this in 6 months, 3 months, 2 months, or what they call in some jurisdictions, not in my Masonic organization, blue lightning and stuff like that. And one day we just bring them up. No, that's foolishness. Freemasonry is profound. Think about it. Everything I said here in this particular lecture, think about it. Think. If what I say doesn't make sense, disregard it. You're not ready. If what I said does make sense, go with it. Masonry is profound. I'm not going to spell out the rest for you. I've said enough. If you understand, I've said enough. Think. Think. and think. And God bless you. God bless your family. If you want to get at me, you already know my email is in the description. Magilio Montana at Gmail. It's there. You can reach out to me, talk to me, stuff like that. And with that being said, work. Do the work on the square. Peace.